All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. Let me know you can hear me. Sound check a 1, 2. How you guys doing this morning? What's going on, Mike? Frank? We got ourselves a little bit of a gap up here this morning, and it's actually getting a little bit better, a little bit bigger, I should say. Awesome. What's going on, Kentucky Steve? You don't happen to be from Kentucky, are you? Just like the name, right? What's going on, Quinn? All right, guys, let's take a look here. We've got a market that's moving here this morning. S&P is up 0.97%. NASDAQ up 1.02%. Russell here 1.22%, and the Dow up 0.94%. So I did the morning write-up and dropped it in the chat if you guys have not already seen that. Go check that out. I put a couple trade ideas in there as well for Nadex here on the day. And all but one of those was able to get filled here so far this morning. So when I wrote the morning write-up, the Russell was at 1509 and change there. The Russell's currently printing 1514 and change here, so we've rallied about 5 points in the Russell. S&Ps were right around 2920s, 2921s. Those have now rallied up, set new highs, 292750s. But the thing that I was noticing here this morning was the Russell was able to be above, it was gapping above yesterday's highs, at least if we were to open right there. Now today we're definitely, with 15 minutes to go here till the open, at 1514 we're kind of just stacking that on with the Russell. So I'm anticipating a really, really nice move to the upside today. I think S&P has got room to 29.75 as a first target here on the first little test on the morning. And then from there, I think we've got 29.40 quarters here that we can get to on the day. So this is going to be a pro gap to the upside. We're gapping above a red bar. Yesterday's prior highs there were 2450s. We're going to be opening above those prior highs. Opening prints there at 29.19s from yesterday. And all of those levels are still going to remain valid. So let's take a look at the charts here. What I'm going to be looking for today, we're gapping up, like I said, 29, kind of 26s right in here currently. We've got this prior high from 29.2450s that we traded up to yesterday. The level to watch was 19 quarter yesterday. And you'll notice we were just really unable to get a close back above that level in order for us to stay above and just kind of base out there. And then ultimately ended up coming down here. Almost got to the 28.92s yesterday, and then almost got to them in the overnight session last night. We traded a low of 28.93. So we front ran that level by a point here. Completely reversed to the upside. This will essentially be like the fifth time we're back up into this zone here, if you will, of 29.20s up to 29.40s. And at this point, I am going to be looking for that to break out. So game plan for the day, it hasn't changed. We're getting a little bit of that gap up here, a little bit further of a gap up this morning, but that doesn't change the game plan here. I'm going to be looking for S&P as long on a pullback to 29.19 quarters here off of the open. If we don't get that and we push up through 29.75s on the morning, then from there, I'll have to start looking at buying pullbacks. If we get some type of smaller time frame confirmation close above the 29.75s, if we can get a uptrend going or anything like that, then I like longs over 29.75s. Targets on those are 29.40 quarters and then up to 29.5950s. So I would much rather prefer, I think the easier quote unquote trade today is this pullback here to 29.19s, 29.19 quarters. If we don't get that though, and we start pushing above 29.75s, then we have to start adapting to a new structure here, and that's just looking to buy pullbacks, looking for confirmation, closes above, and then looking for a trend here to continue to the upside. If for some reason we don't trade 29.40s on the day, I would actually be extremely surprised. to be honest here. We have some news announcements coming out later today. If we take a look at the Forex Factory calendar here, you can see there's FOMC meeting minutes at 2 o'clock. That is the only thing in red here. We've got some existing home sales at 10, crude oil inventories at 10:30. So if you are trading crude, and potentially that's going to give a little bit of a boost to the Russell here, which crude's up 61 cents this morning, just trading about 20 cents off its highs. But so if you're trading those markets, or those markets specifically around crude, that is going to have some movement here. But for the overall markets, I think we'll have a nice little move here kind of first thing. And then, maybe about 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, somewhere in that time frame, we'll start to kind of slow down here. And, the gap will be digested, whatever the move is, all that kind of stuff. And then from there until basically 2 o'clock, I think we're going to have a fairly quiet, session there. So I'm not going to be looking to do too much here, after kind of the 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30 time frame, something like that. And going to be allowing, the kind of the lunchtime doldrums, if you will, to go ahead and do whatever it is that they want to do, and then step back in later this afternoon after the FOMC announcements. And I think that's what's going to end up giving us our nice little push there to finally reach some upside targets on the day. And then potentially Jackson Hole stuff coming out tomorrow, all that fun stuff, getting us up here into the 29.50, 9.50s is going to be the next target above there for the S&Ps. So I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive today than most days here, but we're getting a pro gap, like fourth or fifth test back into these levels. We've got some news announcements coming out later. We're showing good signs of strength early on. We've got the Russell getting above those prior highs, before any of the other markets were. So there's a couple different factors coming together here that's leading this into being a better than normal rated play for today. Now, I did put a couple positions on in Nadex there. Again, sent these out this morning. I do have one position on I did not send out that I put on last night. And again, it hasn't technically triggered yet, so that's why I did not send that one out yet. But looking at the positions I currently have on here, what I've got is a Euro USD 1.1120 here. And again, I went with a 3 p.m. expiration on this for the potential that, we get the Fed announcements at 2 o'clock and we can get that kind of push up. We have been unable to break through this resistance level just yet. These resistance levels come in here, 1.11064, 1.1127 here. And if we can get through those levels, then I think this will be a good looking position. Otherwise here, it's not going to end up getting that move. It's a little bit more aggressive. Again, we haven't cleared the zone. We haven't done any of that stuff. So again, why I did not send that trade out. And you guys can see I'm only trading it with a one lot here, as well as the rest of these positions. Next up was the 29.08, 29.58 touch bracket that I put on for the morning write-up. And that position I was able to put on for 29.20s. It's currently up like 48 bucks here. Also picked up the 29.38 for 4:15 p.m. expiration. Paid $18.50 for that. It's currently 24 bucks, so up like 6 bucks on that. And going to be looking for, again, that move up to 29.40s and be able to take a target here on these 29.38s. And then still working the order for the 29.1930s here, down at 45 bucks there. And again, I put that out this morning with the 3 trade ideas that you could take. And if you're only looking to take one or the other, that's completely fine. I chose to do all 3, and that's why I spread my risk out and did one contract across the board on each of those. So that's what I've got working so far with the Nadex trades here from this morning. We did take one small loss yesterday on the morning write-ups, and then we had either a potential for a break even or even a winner there, depending on how you managed the position for the 11 a.m. expirations yesterday. I am going to be focused on the S&Ps pretty intensely today. I'm also going to be looking at the 11 a.m. expirations again as well after the market opens, if we can get that pullback into 29.19s or so. There's a 29.1850 strike available for 11 a.m.s, and there's a 29.20 strike available for the 11 a.m.s. So if I can't get filled on those 1930s here this morning on a pullback, then I'm going to start stepping up and seeing if we can look a little bit longer duration here for those 11 a.m.s, 29.1850s or the 29.20s. I really wish Nadex would put the 11 a.m.s out at like 8 a.m. for me. So when I do the morning write-up, that would be great. But that's not what they're doing. So we got to look at those after 9 o'clock. And I'll talk about those in the trading room as the day starts to unfold. But I'm coming in with a bullish bias here. There's nothing here telling me that I'm essentially wrong on that or that I can't be bullish here. Everything to me looks and tells me that we are going to be making a nice move to the upside. If I am wrong, I'm wrong under 29.19 quarters here. If we crack under 29.19 quarters here, we've got room to pull back to 29.10 quarters. And as I wrote in the morning write-up here, I am not going to be a participant upon that. I will just go ahead and sit on hands, let the market get its pullback to 29.10 quarters if it wants to. And then from there, wait to look at new positions until we get back up over 29.19 quarters there. All of that was in the morning write-up here. Moving over to the NASDAQ here real quick. We got about a minute to go. Excuse me. NASDAQ, pretty similar story here. The levels to watch, 77.27 quarters, 77.77 quarters. We've got a 50-point potential profit target in there. I'm also watching pullbacks to 77.27 quarters here for the day in the NASDAQ for long opportunities. And if we can do that, then I think we've got targets up here to 77 quarters and then up to 78.27s. And depending on, NASDAQ right now is 0.97% of the green. S&P's is 0.93% of the green. So the NASDAQ's a little bit stronger, but not enough to really make a difference, I don't think. But depending on how we act this morning, if NASDAQ holds strong, S&P's pulls back and tags those 19 quarters, well, then I may look at taking a long in the NASDAQ because it's proving to be stronger than the S&P's at that point. At the moment, that is not the case. But if that changes, then I will be looking to kind of adapt to that. Otherwise, that's what I've got here for this morning. I think it's going to be a fairly active morning, like I said, at least for the first little bit. And then the lunchtime session, I think, will be fairly quiet until we get the FOMC stuff coming out there at 2 o'clock. So thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out with me. If you want to join me in the MLT Discord, there is a link in the description below. Go ahead and click that link. It'll get you all the details and get you guys signed up so you can join the MLT Discord. If you enjoyed this video, click that thumbs up button. If you're new around here, click that subscribe button and turn on the little bell notification so you know when we go live each and every morning about 9 o'clock. Thank you guys so much. I will see you back in just a few minutes for the morning power hour. Take care. Have a great rest of your trading day.